In this video, we'll break down how to turn defense into offense, we'll explore the key decision-making moments in the transition zone, and we'll talk about modern pickleball built around recognizing when to swing instead of reset. Turning defense into offense is not about reckless attacking. It is about identifying specific contact points, court positions, and opponent tendencies that justify an aggressive response. When positioned behind the baseline while a partner hits the third shot, most players only move forward if the drop looks perfect or if it bounces cleanly. That approach is too conservative. If the third shot, whether a drop or drive, forces the opponent to contact the ball at or below the height of the net, there is an opportunity to move forward aggressively, even if the drop is not perfect and the opponent takes it out of the air. As long as contact occurs below net height, forward movement is justified. Crashing the net in this moment applies pressure and introduces the threat of a poach. That threat alone can generate errors. The likelihood of the opponent successfully redirecting behind the advancing player is lower than many assume. This is particularly effective on the left side when comfortable hitting a forehand counter with pace. The key principle is simple. If the opponent is contacting below net height, the defensive posture can shift into an offensive advance. When under attack and forced into a reset, the instinct is often to neutralize safely without directional intention. A more strategic option is to reset specifically to the opponent's forehand side and then clear space. At many levels, when players see a reset land on their forehand, they take a full swing, especially if they are already leaning forward with strong leg engagement. If they are required to swing aggressively below net height on the forehand side, there is a strong chance the ball will sail long. By directing the reset to that forehand and then moving out of the way of the next ball, the defender allows the opponent's aggression to become a liability. Instead of absorbing pressure repeatedly, the defender creates an opportunity for an unforced error. Especially at levels 4.5 and below, a defensive lob hit extremely high and directed toward the middle can generate significant errors. Outdoors, particularly against players without strong tennis backgrounds, overhead consistency is not guaranteed. The objective is not spin or precision near the sidelines. The goal is height and central placement to avoid risk of missing wide or into the net. A sky-high lob provides two benefits. First, it creates confusion between partners, especially when placed down the middle. Second, it buys substantial time to recover and reposition. Less spin can actually increase unpredictability, particularly in windy conditions. The higher the defensive lob, the more time is created, and the more likely opponents are to misjudge the ball. When used at the right frequency, this shot converts defensive scrambling into neutral or even advantageous positioning. A common mistake in the transition zone is resetting balls that are contacted above waist height, especially on the forehand side. If comfortable generating power with the forehand and making contact above the waist, there is reason to drive rather than reset. Driving through the middle, particularly targeting the inside foot of the right side player, is highly effective. The middle of the court represents the lowest part of the net and reduces angle risk. Contact above the waist allows enough margin to strike with pace and force a defensive reply. In addition, many players, especially below the 5.0 level, fail to leave balls that are heading out. A firm drive may not need to be perfect to create pressure. In this context, aggression is not reckless. It is based on favorable contact height and positioning. At the kitchen line, players often reset even when contacted above the waist or above net height, particularly on the backhand side. If able to get behind the ball and make contact above net height, countering becomes the correct response. Countering means swinging and driving the volley downward. The primary objective is not maximum power but trajectory. As long as the ball is driven downward so the opponent must contact it near knee height, control remains with the countering player. Even against opponents with faster hands or greater power, a well-directed downward counter neutralizes their advantage by forcing them into a low contact position. Resetting in this scenario unnecessarily concedes initiative. Turning defense into offense is built on recognizing contact height, opponent positioning, and available space. Defense does not require surrendering initiative. When players understand when they have license to swing, they prevent opponents from settling comfortably into attack patterns. The transformation occurs not through constant aggression, but through disciplined recognition of offensive opportunities hidden inside defensive moments.